Hello and welcome. This is my multimedia presentation, and I will be presenting Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. My name is Christopher Huezo, so let's go. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a movie about an adolescent going through life and finding his identity through the process. While struggling with low self-esteem and identity issues, Scott Pilgrim finds the love of his life and now must fight her 7 evil exes to maintain his relationship with his newly found Ramona. Scott Pilgrim is a 22-year-old who is struggling with low self-esteem due to a recent breakup with a newly famous ex-girlfriend. He starts the movie by announcing he's dating an underage girl, which he is clearly doing to make himself feel better. With only little support from his band of social rejects, Scott is determined to make something of himself when he finds who he decides is the love of his life, Ramona. However, to be with her, he must defeat all 7 of her evil exes. With every victory over them, Scott's self-esteem grows, and so does his ability to achieve his mission of being with Ramona. Elements of analysis. Peers. Peer groups are essential to adolescent development, since this is when adolescents begin to rely on their peer groups for reference of right and wrong, more than their parents' opinions. Parental guidance is important for the development of good social behavior, and teens who have stable friendships tend to be less rebellious or to be troublesome. Peer groups help adolescents feel a sense of belonging, and depending on their peer group, which clique they belong in. Close to half of high school students are associated with one crowd, and about one-third are associated with 2 or more crowds, and about 1/6 do not clearly fit in any crowd. Steinberg, 160. Elements of analysis. Leisure. Leisure in industrialized countries take up over half an adolescent's time. Studies show that adolescents that participate in after-school activities tend to feel better about themselves and show more attachment to their school. Teens that spend too much time in leisure tend to get in more trouble. Teens that spend too much time using social media may have their attitudes and are said to be exposed too early on to sex and drug use. Due to the high amount of internet use, they become a target market amongst corporate businesses. Teenagers make up a large and therefore influential segment of the consumers of these products. Page 248. Analyze chosen elements. Peers. Scott evolves from hiding his personal choices from his band due to the fear of judgment to owning his true self and even leaving his cherished friends in the band to pursue his true destiny with Ramona. He also evolves from only having enough esteem to pursue a platonic relationship with an underage girl to pursuing an intimate adult relationship with a beautiful girl his own age. Scott improves from dwelling on his ex and living in the past to moving forward with a new boo. Scott's peer group helped support Scott and hold him accountable for his decisions, and more importantly helped him mature into a more confident person. Analyze chosen elements. Leisure. Scott's leisure time evolves from spending a lot of time in arcades playing video games with his underage girlfriend to leaving childish games behind when pursuing his goals. He also matures in that, while he is still doing the same activities as he was, such as record shopping and walking through the park, he is no longer feeling alone when he does it. He becomes confident in what he enjoys. Last but not least, he goes from depending on his band and peers for a sense of purpose to leaving it to pursue his true purpose. Scott's band was a way for him to express his feelings and find himself amongst his social cliques. It gave him an outlet for all the frustration that was building up inside of him. Scott Pilgrim's identity grows drastically throughout the movie. In the early ages, his low self-esteem causes him to be in a platonic relationship with an underage girl until he breaks up with her, as his confidence within him grows and he realizes that he is using her for her company. We see his confidence in his identity grow again when he begins dating Ramona and realizes that he is capable of dating someone and is truly caring for them deeply after his devastating breakup. Lastly, you see Scott learning about his true self-image after his close peer group informs them of their disapproval of him dating someone so young. This approval from his new and sometimes ex-girlfriend, as well as his friends, is a big part of what makes Scott Pilgrim. Explanation of main task. The main task in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is young Scott Pilgrim must fight to the death his new girlfriend's 7 deadly exes to live out the rest of his life in peace with Ramona. Judgment of typical adolescence. Scott Pilgrim seems to be a typical adolescent but seems to have a low self-esteem, which guides him to doing insecure things. I believe that Scott is a good kid, but living in poverty and relying on his peers to help him determine where he belongs in life. Citations. Steinberg, L. 2014. Adolescence. McGraw-Hill.